Hello everybody, Dan here. Welcome back to Daily Soap Dish. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button down below because we cover a ton of 90 Day Fiancé right here on the channel. Let's get right into it, guys. So today's story is one that we have unfortunately been talking a little too much about in recent times, and that's storylines being fake, being acted out, being complete fabrication on 90 Day Fiancé. I think the last video that we did about this, and we've done a couple about this, was about Josh Weinstein and Natalie Mordovtseva and how their storyline possibly could have been completely fake because Josh supposedly has a girlfriend and he was spotted by a 90 Day Fiancé fan, a watcher, on an airplane with his actual girlfriend and basically trying to hide her because he was, at least that's what the person said, that he looked like he was afraid that people would spot them together. And that whole thing kind of renders their storyline on 90 Day Fiancé kind of useless and pointless. And also that's something that we ourselves saw kind of play out on TV screens because Josh and Natalie didn't really look like much of a couple anyways. Today's video, however, is about Debbie Aguero and Ruben the Cuban. And we've kind of known that this relationship was fake and phony, but Ruben himself actually put out a statement, and a pretty lengthy one, and he's kind of detailing some of the things that happened between him and Debbie. It's a pretty nasty, I guess we can, I don't know if we can call it a split considering the fact that he says that they were never romantically involved, but it's a pretty nasty outfall, I guess, or, you know, fallout from whatever they had on the show. So let's take a look at what's going on between Debbie and Ruben the Cuban, because this is a bit of a nasty and messy situation, with even legal proceedings supposedly underway against Debbie because Ruben is accusing her of tarnishing his reputation. We're going to get to that in a second. First, let's take a look at what it says right here. So on screen ad, it says that Debbie and Ruben have split. This was from a few days ago. So Debbie's whirlwind romance with Ruben ended after she found out about his behavior on a dating app behind her back. Ruben asked for $100,000 on GoFundMe, sparking concerns about his intentions and credibility among 90 Day Fiancé fans. Now, Ruben and Debbie engaged in a bitter online feud with accusations of cyber stalking and harassment flying back and forth. Now, a lot of this, guys, is, like I said, some of the stuff of what Debbie is saying is going to be disproven, or at least, you know, counteracted by what Ruben is saying. We're going to get to Ruben's comment because he put out a pretty lengthy comment on Instagram in a moment. First, let's just take a look here. So Debbie's whirlwind romance with her Ruben the Cuban man, aka Ruben Sanchez, has ended. Now, it hasn't ended in a good way. Debbie, of course, is 67-year-old. She's an artist, a poet, and a jewelry shop owner from Sugar Hill, Georgia. Now, she was part of 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way Season 4 with Oussama from Morocco, who was 24 at the time, and they had a pretty shocking age gap. And I think that's one of the reasons why they even came on the show, was because their age gap was just so shocking. But Debbie and Oussama's relationship, it was a bit of a disaster. Now, that age gap was the largest that the franchise has ever seen. Debbie moved to Morocco on the show to marry Oussama, but claimed that his real intentions were to take advantage of her for a green card. I mean, you know, if you're 67 and you're dating a 20-something-year-old, first of all, that's weird. That's just weird. In my opinion, there is no way that Oussama is old enough to be her grandson, perhaps even too young to be her grandson. If she had grandkids, they might be older. It's just weird in general. I mean, it's two adults consenting to this relationship, so don't get me wrong. They can do whatever the hell they want, but to me, it's weird. 67 and 24 is weird, and you just don't have anything in common. I think that's the biggest problem. It's not just the age itself, but you just don't have anything in common. So when Debbie says, well, he was taking advantage of me, well, obviously, he was not into it to be with a 7-year-old. He was into it because he was expecting something. I think that's very obvious. But of course, Oussama, you know, people didn't like Oussama, myself included. I didn't like the whole situation. It was just a mess all around. Now, while using, Debbie came back to the USA, but she was scared of revealing her new age, or her real age, while using dating apps. She lied about being 57 years old to find a match because, you know, she feels like she's too old. Now, Debbie's son, Julian, who had been worried about her safety during, you know, her relationship with Osama, became extra cautious during her new dating adventures. Debbie went to meet a man called Russ on The Single Life Season 4. We just saw that not very long ago. And he accepted Debbie's age despite her lying to him, but drew the line when it came to her having a 24-year-old ex-boyfriend. And along came Ruben, who surprisingly matched Debbie's wavelength. Now, how did they meet? Well, Debbie's love interest, Russ, made Debbie feel hurt because he called her after their date and mocked her about her relationship with Osama. Now, Debbie had thought that Russ accepted her for who she was. The relationship fizzled out fast. However, Debbie did not give up on love, and she had already met somebody. Debbie said she had been talking to Ruben every day for 2 weeks. She thought Ruben the Cuban from Miami sounded romantic, and Ruben had the exotic flair that Debbie was looking for. He was age-appropriate, liked to travel, and was like her spirit animal. Now, Ruben wanted to take their online connection to the personal world and invited Debbie to Miami. Debbie admitted she was drawn to Ruben, but she told him she was an amateur at dating. Ruben insisted that the Sugar Hill Debbie Licious could meet Ruben the Groovin' Cuban in Miami. This is just so weird, guys. Just going through these monikers and nicknames here, it's really cringe in my opinion. So he could take her on a tour of the Cuban culture in the city. Debbie was excited by the element of romance, but she didn't want to repeat what happened with Osama since she had met Ruben online. Meanwhile, Julian, her son, was concerned that she was rushing into yet another romance. Debbie and Ruben were a great match with their eccentric styles and colorful ensembles, even though Debbie commented that Ruben was comedy and overkill. Now, things went downhill once Julian met Ruben and told him about Debbie's past with Osama and how she was still financially supporting his family in Morocco. Now, Ruben was not aware that Debbie was dating a 24-year-old before him. Meanwhile, Julian also had his own suspicions about Ruben's criminal record and his mode of income. So Debbie and Ruben met directly at the Telar after her Miami stay. Now, Debbie was disappointed that Ruben did not try to meet her before the tell-all. She also tried to expose him by revealing she'd seen him on the same dating app where they'd met long after their dates. Ruben insisted he was never exclusive with Debbie in his defense. Meanwhile, Debbie didn't forget to mention that Ruben's preferred age range on the app was 30 to 50, while Debbie was 2 decades over Ruben's age preference. Still, Ruben and Debbie decided to date exclusively during the tell-all. Debbie was happy that she was leaving the reunion with a boyfriend. Now, we're going to get through all of that in a second, guys, because that is all being dispelled by Ruben now. Now, according to TV Show's Ace, after the show, Ruben set up a GoFundMe and asked fans to donate a whopping $100,000. Fans have come to avoid cast members who ask for money online, especially after Mary DiNuccio misled fans into believing that she had colon cancer. Now, another person that has been doing this, has been, Cleo. She's also been asking people for her gender-affirming procedure to donate to her as well. So there's been a couple of people that have set up GoFundMes. Of course, Josh Weinstein is another one, but that's because his son was involved in a tragic accident where his son's friend lost his life in that accident, and his son lost a leg as well. So there's been a couple of GoFundMes. They're not all necessarily made the same, in my opinion. Now, Ruben said he wanted the money to support his 73-year-old friend who had spent a week in hospital due to septic shock and was living alone in a home which he felt was a horror house. So, a lot of people have a lot of different reasons to ask for money, and I don't like it personally. It's a personal thing, and some people will disagree. People can do whatever they want. People can ask, people can beg, people can get on their hands and knees and beg for money. That's their business. Personally, I don't like it. I don't give out money to GoFundMes ever. I'm just always skeptical about people's intentions. And the ones that I'm most skeptical of are the people that come on reality TV, and as soon as they get their 2 seconds of fame, barely that, because most people barely know who Ruben the Cuban is. As soon as they get a little bit of fame and clout, they go online and they beg for money. I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way. I hope it does to you guys as well, because I don't know. There's just something off about it. People asking straight up for money online. Oh, I live in a crappy house. Well, work harder. Like, you can do it. You can do all kinds of things, in life. You just have to work harder. Just do something else. I don't know. But asking people for money, maybe it's just a personal thing. It's just not something I do. In certain situations, I understand it. But it feels like most of these situations, they're not necessary to ask people for money. That's when I kind of, I'm not a fan. But like I said, if you guys disagree with that, that's fine as well. Ruben later reset the GoFundMe amount to $10,000. So I said, hold on a second, $100,000, that might be a little over optimistic here. You think? $100,000 GoFundMe because his friend was in the hospital and his house was a dump. Like, seriously. But he's managed to raise $1,450 so far to help with his friend's house repairs and renovation. So a far cry from the $100,000. However, Debbie doesn't want fans to donate to Ruben's cause. She posted a cryptic Instagram video targeting Ruben. She didn't call Ruben out directly, but mentioned personal integrity and said that there were women who have lost thousands and thousands of dollars after being told pretty words with no action. She wanted her video to be treated as a word of caution so her fans could prevent themselves from getting scammed. Now, she asked her fans to do some fact-checking on people and their intentions. She said that everyone wants to help people, and many have succeeded in helping others in many different ways, but she suggested that people should make sure that the right person benefits and not someone else because she maintains transparency in all things. Now, Ruben defended his GoFundMe as, of course, he would, and he also filed a police report against Debbie. And this is what happened here. So Ruben went one step further and filed a police report against Debbie in April of 2024. Ruben accused Debbie of cyber harassing and stalking. He filed in Miami-Dade County, Florida, and cited Debbie's negative online chatter about him in the police report as per the legal documents obtained by the source. In Touch Weekly, here is the source. Ruben also took to his own Instagram to talk about the malicious campaign of accusations and defamation against him that Debbie had allegedly started. He asked his fans to beware of Debbie, who claims she's a healer and advocate for well-being when her motivations are driven by self-interest. So a real nasty feud between these two. But again, you know, I'm not even trying to take sides here, guys. I'm just not. I think that filing a police report because you didn't like some comments on Instagram, I think that's soft. I think that's weak. I think that's kind of sad and pathetic. It's just my opinion. I mean, we've seen it before on the show. I even think that Mohammed and Danielle, I think there were some police reports that were filed by Mohammed because of some comments made on Facebook. It's just, I don't know, guys. There's comments made on social media literally every second, right? Every millisecond, there are nasty comments made about anyone that has any kind of clout or is in any way, shape, or form a public figure, even minor ones. And so you really have to, you would have to sift through a lot of comments because not everyone's going to agree with your actions once you're online. It's just the way it goes. And once you become a public figure, that's just what happens. And you have to live with that, in my opinion. But I guess people have very thin skin, and that's just the way it goes. Now, Debbie's retaliating in her own way on IG by saying she's been made a victim of a hate campaign. Debbie alleges that certain fake profiles have been created that are making inflammatory comments, making her concerned about her safety. She's mentioned that cyber stalking is real and dangerous. She's also targeting a little angry man for cyber stalking her and launching a bullying campaign against her. Okay, so this is a feud between basically two people that just couldn't really get along. Relationship was a disaster. And now they're accusing each other of stalking and all of these things. This is what Ruben said, though. So we can see here, Ruben the Cuban in Miami. This is his Instagram account. And he says this: combating fabricated sensationalism, standing firm with the truth against tabloid lies. Contrary to claims, there was never any romantic involvement between Ruben the Cuban and Debbie Aguero. Initial online interactions, evidenced by screenshots, reveal her desperation to secure a spot on the show. Despite my personal hardships with a dying mother, I reluctantly participated to support her supposed worthy cause. Post-show, Aguero launched a relentless smear campaign against me, adeptly assuming the victim role to solicit funds for her ventures. When I initiated a GoFundMe for a friend in dire need, she retaliated with baseless accusations of scammer, conman, sketchy, and other diatribes despite lacking any evidence. In stark contrast, I don't have any arrest or criminal record. My record remains clean, except for a minor speeding ticket, while Aguero has a criminal arrest record for business practices. I have maintained integrity throughout my career, surrounded by colleagues in law enforcement and legal professions, and having been married to an assistant state attorney prosecutor for 17 years. I'm not exactly sure what that part has to do with anything. You can be married to, an attorney and still be committing crime. I don't really get that, but okay. Her envy and greed led to a vicious social media onslaught, tarnishing my reputation and career. Despite her defamatory claims, I will continue to defend myself with legal and professional means, a standard lacking in Aguero's tactics. The public record on social media speaks volumes, revealing her malicious defamation and libel. Boy, just a lot of, I don't know, guys. I don't know. This doesn't move me. It doesn't move me. This doesn't make me feel like supporting Ruben anymore. I somehow don't really feel moved or care that much about this cause. I mean, I don't care that Debbie said that he was a scammer or not. Like I said, personally, I don't really care for GoFundMes in general. I think that if you donate, to a GoFundMe, without really looking at what's going on, you are liable to get scammed. I'm not saying before Ruben comes after this channel, I'm not saying that Ruben's thing is a scam or not. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we work hard for our money, guys. And we all have responsibilities. We all have families and whatnot. And before you part with your cash, you really have to make sure that what you're doing is really something that you really want to do with that money, that we all work very hard for. It's not that easy to make money. And in 2024, guys, our money doesn't go as far as it used to, right? With inflation rates and whatnot, we have less money to spend than we were before. I can barely afford my groceries like I was about a year ago. And so it would never cross my mind to donate to a guy because his house needs repairs. My house needs repairs, right? I have other things to do with my money. So I don't really understand why people would donate for certain causes, but it's their freedom to do so if that's what they want. I'm just stating my opinion here on the case. And I just don't really, calling each other scammer and whatnot, I don't really think that's enough for a legal case here. They're both kind of going at each other. And so it's a little bit of a confusing situation. It sounds like two scorned lovers or ex-lovers that are just going at it, a bit in the media. And not sure that I'm really moved to pick either side here with these two. However, I will say one thing. The Ruben the Cuban says that there was never any romantic involvement with Debbie. And so why did he ever appear on the show? I mean, he is saying that the whole thing is fake, right? And that's the point of the video. But then he's only saying it now, in hindsight. Like, why did he appear on the show? Why did he agree to mislead us on the show? And then when things didn't work out so well with Debbie, then he is dropping these bombs. Oh, well, she's lying. She's made all of this up. Well, she approached me to do, this fake romance. Well, why did you do the fake romance? Why did you not tell us? Why did you just not say no? And why did you not expose Debbie and say, guys, look, go on Reddit, go on Instagram, reach out to a newspaper and say, guys, I have a 90 Day Fiancé cast member, Debbie, that reached out to me and asked me to do a fake romance storyline. I'd like to talk about that. Why did you not do that then, but wait until, in hindsight, until everything is over, and then say, well, everything was fake, this is all Debbie's fault, and whatnot. I don't get that part. Anyways, that's the video for today, guys. So another fake romance on 90 Day Fiancé. This one is ending, apparently, in some legal issues for these two. So you guys let me know what you think. Do you guys take any sides in this? Let me know in the comment section down below if you take Debbie's side or Ruben's side. I'm not sure I'm inclined to really take anybody's side. Also, what do you make about, these increasing claims of fake storylines that we're seeing on the show? It's really kind of become almost common practice that every couple that we're seeing now is basically a fake romance and storyline. There's very few real, authentic romances, and this is a problem for the show. Also, let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below for more content right here, and I'll see you guys very soon. Take care.